Hi. I want to go over the rubrics that will decide what grade you end up in this class to make sure you clearly understand this. My name is Jackie Murray, and I'm the mentor, the teacher for this class. So I want you to know exactly what I'm looking for to be sure that you thrive and achieve the goals of this class. We have some pretty good goals. A lot of expectations for the class, and I hope that you see that there's nothing in the goals or in these grading rubrics related to you being perfect. I really don't care about perfect. What I care about is that you did your best, that you tried your hardest, that you read the material, you understood it, you tried to relate it to real life events, you addressed everything rigorously, you asked questions when you had problems. You tried different approaches to problem solving. Whether they worked or not is less important than is that you tried. You used your evidence, you built on that, and you tried methods you thought would work for you, and then we'll talk about things. But that is the most important part, and you'll see that reflected in all of these categories as I go through them. That if you're superior, you're showing strong evidence of ideas. It's got nothing to do with that you answered all the questions. You had an answer for everything, because you could come to class with those written out and prepared. And what does that tell me? So I don't care about that. I care that you're showing your evidence that you have ideas. You use what you learned in the class to build those ideas, to collaborate with classmates, to respond to classmates. So superior, that's what it takes. You are involved in discussions um, on the wiki, in the tweet ups, in the Google Hangouts, in the discussion boards. You are involved. You, if someone asks you a question, you respond immediately. You build on other people's. If someone asks an open question, you jump in with your thoughts on it, even if it's to say, I wondered the same thing. And then I will never jump in right away and answer. I'll always wait to see if one of you can answer it. And then I'll come in and say, okay, these are some good ideas you can try. And then still you can come back and say, yes, I tried that and it didn't work for these reasons. Those very valuable input. So that's what you're showing: practical evidence, involvement with classmates. This is a personal learning network you're developing. That's a big goal of this class, as well as 562, is that you leave the class with a core of people you can turn to if you get stuck on any topic, be it differentiation or curriculum maps or whatever you're doing, that you have someone else you can turn to on Twitter, on a Google Hangout, and say, can you help me with this? And these people in the class, I want to be that person for you. You can always come to me too. We're friends now. You've been in my class. You can always come back and say, I've got this interview for this job and I don't know what to say on this subject. They're expecting me to talk about 3D printing. And you can come back and say, what do I say? And you and I'll toss it around, figure something out. Okay, so that's this. You'll see collaborate if your collaboration is minimal, if your comments are only because they're required. I'm going to know that, and you're not going to be scored well. Your digital portfolio, you have a page in our wiki that is yours. It starts with some basic ideas I want you to fill out, and you'll fill those out. But there's every week you'll put evidence of the project, of the work you did, of the project you completed. You'll put it on that page. So it's a living document of your 5 weeks in this class. I want it to reflect that. So it'll be graded that way. You don't have to have the project perfect or even completed if there's a reason, but you have to always tell me, this is what happened, this is how I worked, this is my evidence that I used what I learned in class, and it didn't work for me because my internet went down or because whatever. That won't be a very good excuse, by the way. It'll take a lot more to prove to me that that was the reason. But that's your evidence. Provide me the right evidence, and I'm going to be on your side for this. So all projects, you have to have all your projects reflected on your portfolio page. It has to be easy to understand. I don't want to dig around and try to figure out, did she do the project or not? Because I can't really tell. I've done that with 8th graders. I did that. You guys are way beyond that. So I'm expecting a lot more out of you. Grammar and spelling, like it or not, you base your judgment of people on their grammar and spelling, and other people do the same to you. So I'm going to expect good grammar and spelling. It's just too easy to get it right. So you need to double check your work to make sure your sentences are understandable, your grammar and spelling is as good as possible. Projects have to be completed, whatever that means. It might not be completed like it's laid out in the curriculum. It might be, you might explain to me why that didn't work for you. You might tell me why you used a different tool than what I suggested. And actually, you may do that, but you have to get it approved ahead of time. And then even so, when you post it on your digital portfolio, you're going to explain that to me so I remember, because I have a lot of students, so I don't want to forget that you and I had this arrangement. So you're going to explain to me why you use this tool instead of some other tool. So you're going to show an understanding in your project of the tool, of how it relates to the core goals of the class. If I see little understanding of that, and I don't see that the tool, the way you used it, is going to help you with differentiation, it's not going to score well. Practical evidence, I want to see that. I want to see that you use the tool, you use the videos and the articles we covered in the class in building the project with your tool, with whatever the project was. I want to see that happening. I don't want you just to do it off your past experience. I want it based on what you learned in the class. There's a fine line. As long as you're using what you learned in the class, you can add your experience from other places. That's perfectly fine. But you can't base it entirely on your other experiences. This has to be growing. It has to be based on what you're learning in this class, and that will be carried throughout all of your grading. Your evidence has to be from this class. Okay, it has to be completed. And you can define that for me and build a case based on evidence that your project is completed, but you might have to explain it to me if I don't think it is completed. So if it's not all projects are completed, or some are, but they're minimal quality, if you always just do the minimum, then you're going to get the minimum grade. Google Hangouts, you come, and TweetUps, you come prepared. You'll know what the questions are, so I want you prepared to discuss them with everyone. I want you to be able to answer the question and then collaborate, go back and forth with your classmates in the TweetUps and the Google Hangouts. It's not just you gave your answer, now you get to take a break for a while. That's not participation. That probably isn't even minimal, because the TweetUp and the Google Hangouts don't work if I'm the only one talking. I want everyone talking and sharing ideas. And I want you to say, I had this in my class, this is what happened, what do you guys think? That sort of thing. That's good preparation, practical evidence, participation. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want any off-topic contributions, so don't even do that. We're staying right on topic. And reflection, yep. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. I hope that's clear with the rubrics. I hope that you have a really good sense of what it takes. It's a very authentic grading. I'm going to base it on what you do. You'll get out of it what you put into it. All right. I look forward to seeing how this works out. Please feel free to add any comments to the discussion board that you might have. Talk to you soon. Bye.